And we're live. And we're back. Hi, guys. It's Saturday night. Saturday Night Live. And we're back. I have a new camera. I'm very excited. I love it. It's awesome. Very nice. Oh, I'm going to turn my phone off.
And we're live.
Because I can hear myself. And I don't want to do that. So, hi. We're finally going to get back to streaming. We're almost through the holidays. It's one more. And then we're all set for a little while for holidays. I hope everybody survived Christmas. I know how stressful it is. The holiday season is stressful. It's like we all think we're going to have a great time and be happy, and it's a lot of pressure and people spend so much money and you have to deal with family and planning and time, and everybody always goes nuts through the holidays, and the drama kicks up always every year in the paranormal. Around the holidays, the drama kicks up, everything gets crazy, and sure enough, it's been all those things. So yeah, we took a little break, which has been very, very nice for us. To have the pressure off for a little while and have a little break from streaming. But we're back, officially. I've got a new drink tonight. This is not my usual cotton candy bang. This is a peace tea. It seemed kind of apropos for the season. I'm going to try it for the first time. Never had it, never tried it before. Where did I put my straw? Somewhere I have a little straw. Where did I put it? Oh, here it is. Raspberry peace tea. And it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. It's Ghost Queen approved. So hi guys, Mary, thanks for coming in to mod for me. You're always so consistent and wonderful. Thank you. I think Lori's coming in a little bit. So yeah, how's everyone doing? I'm actually going to talk about, in a little while tonight, I'm going to talk about a case that I've been threatening to talk about for a long time. But in a few minutes, first we're just going to hang out for a second and just catch up a little. I hope everybody had, like I say, a great holiday. I hope you didn't eat too much. I've been eating way too much. It's so funny because recently I went to the doctor, and my doctor, she's wonderful. I love her. My GP, she's awesome. And she told me I had lost weight, and I've been like, oh my God, I haven't even been trying to lose weight. But that's awesome. When is it not good when you lose weight, right? Unless you're very underweight. So I was psyched that I had lost some weight, but I'm sure that whatever weight I had lost, I've put back on. Because I've been eating and then eating some more. But that's what we do this time of year, isn't it? We all do it. So what are you going to do? Hey, Unitonica, thanks for coming in. How are you? Cute little heart and Christmas tree. So yeah, I'm excited to be back streaming again. And like I say, I got a new webcam. That just came today. And I like it. It's awesome. It's a much better picture. And getting the hang of this new software a little bit more. So that's good and exciting. And the weather here in Louisiana has been fantastic. I'm dressed warm because I'm in the house, and my boyfriend keeps it like a bloody meat locker in here. So I always have to dress really warm in the house, but it is warm here in Louisiana. Like, I've been doing yard work in shorts and short sleeve shirt. And yeah, thank you. Yeah. I set all this up recently. I don't know, about a month ago, I think, right before Thanksgiving. We needed a little change. Got to keep things fresh, sort of liven it up a little. Keep it fresh. Keep it moving. Always got to be changing, growing. Nature of the beast. So we got a little bit of a new background here. Looks good. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, so Wayne keeps it very cold in here. He's always hot, I'm always cold. But the weather here has been so nice. So I have been doing a little project of some yard work and dealing with these fucking fire ants. Horrible, horrible. They've been plaguing me ever since I moved here to Louisiana. These fire ants, I hate them. They bite me and I get these horrific bites. Okay, look. I've got 2 really bad ones. No, 3 on this hand. I don't know if you can see with my new camera here. There's one right there. So they sting me and it feels like somebody's pouring battery acid on my skin. There's one there. I've got one there. And then one here. You can see that one's all nice pus filled. And then I've got a couple on this thumb. And then I've got them like all down my forearm. These things, they're the devil's spawn. And when they sting me, like I say, they'll sting me, they'll bite me, and it'll feel like battery acid is on my skin. And then they pus up like this. I must have an allergic reaction or something. And then the next day they'll start to itch. And then they'll itch and bother me for usually about 3 months. I mean, it's like a serious issue. And hey, Chris, how are you? And I hate these things. And they've been the bane of my existence ever since we moved into this place. So I've been on this big project. Hey, Kira, happy holidays. Happy New Year. I've been on this big project to try to get rid of these fire ants. So I went yesterday and I think I treated, I don't know, probably 30 nests. And they are disgusting and horrific. So it'll look like a big dirt mud mound. And, we have this huge pond in the back. And I've noticed they tend to go around like the base of some trees by the pond too. And if you just start, like I have this cedar sort of tool for gardening, where you just like dig a little hole with this straight tool. And if I poke that into these mounds, like millions of these ants will come out. And then I just have nightmares about them being all over my body and stinging me. They're awful. So I did get some fire ant treatment, little tiny pellet things from Lowe's. And I had a whole huge bag. I went out and, like I said, I must have treated about 30 nests, these big, huge mounds yesterday, and some of them managed to crawl up the tool and sting me in the process. But it will be worth it if I can get rid of even some of these things because I hate them. They're awful. So that's what I've been doing for the past couple days. Also just taking advantage of the nice weather to do some yard work because in the summer here, it's just so hot. You don't want to do yard work. So even though I'm a New Englander and I'm used to it being cold and snowy this time of year and not doing those sorts of things, I've had to change my patterns. So I've been doing yard work and cleaning up and stuff outside. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Great to see you here. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, hi, Lady, what is that? Lady Norm? Lady Norn? Welcome. So that's what I've been up to. A little bit of cooking here and there with the holidays. I completely ruined a gingerbread. I don't know why. I'm a pretty good cook, Wayne will tell you. But for some reason, I made my gingerbread this year and it completely caved in the middle. I don't know why, if it's the humidity or what. I seem to have issues with cooking here. I don't know if it's my stove or the humidity or something about being here that just, I don't know. My cooking isn't working as well as it normally does. So I completely ruined a gingerbread. I might try again. I bought more ingredients. But it was funny because the day that I did that, I talked to this girlfriend of mine that I've known, oh God, I don't know, 20 years or something. And she's in Colorado now. And I saw this picture. And if you're on my Twitter or my Facebook, you may have seen me share this photo that she was making a gingerbread house. And it was so failing that she ended up writing whore across the roof. She shared this photo. And this was right after I had ruined my gingerbread. And I was like, I love you. This is like something I would do. We all try to be the perfect little Martha Stewarts, and we don't quite pull it off, do we? But perhaps that's, a little bit of a too high a bar that she set for us all, because we can never quite reach it. Oh, you dried out your spiral ham? I did a new spiral ham this year. It was like crusty crunch or crunchy, crusty glaze, something different and new. But it was pretty yummy. Mine was a little dry too, not going to lie. But it was pretty yummy, wasn't it, Wayne? The ham? It looked good. It smelled good. It tasted good. In fact, I might even eat some more tonight. Came out pretty good.
Hard to see with the ring of light, but
yeah, pretty yummy. The food is never a problem this time of year. Oh, hi, Truth Teller. Hi, Bonnie. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so what are you going to do? The holidays are stressful. It's like, it's such a huge buildup, and then like in a day it's done. And if you've got little kids, it's like, it's such a lead up. I mean, I've been doing holidays for so many years at this point. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm just getting used to it, that we all think it's going to be such great fun, but it's usually pretty stressful, and we're usually all happy when it's over. So guess what? It's pretty much over. We got New Year's, and then that's it. Then we're in the clear for another year. So, and this is a big new year, isn't it? I mean, it's not just a new year, it's a whole new decade. And I've been getting pretty excited about it. I love fresh starts. I always love the fall, and I love New Year's. I love the opportunity for change and to do things differently and to improve yourself and to be better and whatnot. So I always love an opportunity to do that sort of thing. And, for New Year's, we all make resolutions. We're going to eat better. We're going to exercise. We're going to quit our bad habits. We're going to develop new good habits. And, that's a lot of pressure too, and we don't necessarily always stick to them, but any little improvement is always a good thing. And I encourage people to at least give it the old college try. Yes, I do know who it is. Of course I do, and I'm happy to see you here. I'm glad you came in. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Yeah, my New Year's resolutions are pretty much the same as they are every year. I definitely want to exercise more. I'm hoping to get back on the mat, back on the yoga mat, and try to get back into a regular practice there. Get more exercise in any capacity that I can. Eat better. I definitely need to be better with the vegetables. Since I've came here, I'm eating a lot less vegetables and fruit. I need to get better with that. Smoking. I've got to knock the smoking on the head. I'm still smoking, although I've cut down a lot. I really have. And I'm proud of myself for that. But I got to try to knock that on the head. I want to drink more water every day. Staying hydrated is so important, and drinking water is so important, and I don't do enough of it. So I want to improve that. What else do I have for New Year's resolutions? That's it, really, the usual stuff. Get in better shape, eat better, be healthier, stop smoking, or at least smoke a lot less. But I'm already smoking less. Eat less sweets. Wayne and I, we're horrible. We are horrible sugar addicts. I will admit it. My name is Heather, and I'm a sugar addict. All the way. We're really bad. We've got to get better with the sugar. Yeah. I'm always trying to improve my planning skills, being ADHD. I live and die by the book. Where's my book? It's around here somewhere. Oh, God, where is it? Oh, I left it over here. Hold on, I'll show you my book. I got a new book this year for 2020. I used to use Filofax systems. Last year, I switched to Tool, if that's how you pronounce it, and I got a new one for this year. It's a little bit more pinky than my last one. My other one was sort of pinky gold. And I love these tool systems. It's got the little glittery rings. I don't know if you can see there. They're kind of pretty, pink, glittery. I'm all about the pink. And I've even got the little matching pink pen, kind of rose gold pen. I'm really still into the rose gold, all about it. But yeah, so I live and die by the book. I have to plan out everything. And even with that, sometimes I screw up and forget appointments. You know, it can be like, that's a big ADHD thing for me. It can be like an hour before I'm supposed to be somewhere. And I'll be thinking about it, and then I'll get caught up doing something, and 2 hours will go by, and I'll be like, oh, shit, I missed my appointment. Great, you know. I have to really be careful with stuff like that. So I really live and die by the book, and I have to really plan out my life and plan out the things that I do. And, yeah, it can get ahead of me, you know, and... Oh, God, you do, Mary? Those sound nice. Mary's saying she has the Skechers, the rose gold edition. I bet I'd love those. I did get a pair of gold Jordans this year that I love, my first pair of Jordans, but they're not rose gold. Look what I did get, though, over at Christmas. Ooh, pink Crocs with the fur in them. So comfy. You can just wear these. If they've got this fur in them, you can wear them with your bare feet. And they are so comfy. I'm all about comfy feet. I love Uggs. I love Crocs. I have to be comfortable. And, yeah, I love these Crocs with the fur. You just wear them with your bare feet, and they're so comfortable. It's like wearing a pair of slippers. Love them, love them, love them. I did get a funny pair of slippers, too. I'll show you. These are kind of funny looking, but they're pretty comfortable. Do you all remember those cork bottom shoes? What were they called, Wayne?
What's that?
What were those shoes called? The cork soled shoes?
Oh.
Birkenstocks. It just came to me, Birkenstocks. So I got these at University Sports. Cheap, like $10. But they've got those cork.
Academy.
Oh, yeah, Academy. I always call it University. Academy.
Sorry,
I always do that. Academy. Anyway, they don't have those in New England, so I'm still getting used to it. So these are like fake Birkenstocks, but they're slippers. They're so comfy. Obviously, I love furry, comfy stuff. So I got this ages ago. I don't even remember where. I've had this forever. It's so warm and cozy and comfy. Little vest. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. We've been doing a little shopping here and there, but really just kind of relaxing. We really just took like a month to just relax, not focus on drama, not focus on YouTube or social media all that much. You know, I really recommend that if you're very heavy into social media, that you take breaks now and again, because it can get to be a lot, you know. And at the end of the day, hey Shan, how are you? At the end of the day, what is important is the people in our homes, you know, and the people in our lives, not this, you know. And you know, I love some of you guys like you're my own family, you know, I really do. And certainly I mean it when I say it. You know, I care about people enormously, and I care about the people in my circle enormously. But there is no one that's going to be more important to me than my partner or my children. And, you know, sometimes we have to switch up the focus a little bit. So we did do that for a little while, and it was good. We needed it. So we can now start off the new year strong and tight and happy and healthy and good. So, yeah. So that's pretty much what we've been doing, you know. And Wayne, as you all know, Wayne got laid off a couple months ago. And, you know, this has been nice for him to just have some time just to chill. And relax and, not be like, go, 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 go. You all know how much he worked. He worked like a lunatic and long hours, not a lot of days off. So it's been nice for us to just have some time together where it's just laid back, low pressure, the whole bit. So that's what we've been doing. And then also we did have, some family stuff going on that we're not going to discuss because it's personal stuff. But there's been a lot going on. So we had a little break and now we're ready to dive back into it now that everything's starting to calm down and whatnot. So I am going to be trying to stream a lot more. I'm going to try to stream daily. I don't know if I can always make it, but I'm going to attempt to. And we're going to eventually pick up again with the interviews, that we had started. We are going to still do that, but I rescheduled and canceled with people that I had already scheduled so that we could have this little break. And we'll get back into that soon. But in the meantime, I am going to be streaming regularly on this channel. I did upload some software to my laptop and to my phone so that I can stream from my phone, which I've been wanting to do. And just kind of maybe taking things in a little bit of a new direction and just being online a little bit more. We're trying to build the channels up, all of our channels. But we need to get consistent. And so I'm just going to be trying to stream more on the regular. Every day. I'm going to try to pop on for at least a little bit every day. So, yeah. What else fun stuff? I've been making slime. Poor Wayne has been dealing with me while I do these crazy things. I bought all this glue and my goal was, I love this, I fidget with shit, right? I've got this whole bowl here, look. I've got a whole bowl of stuff I fidget with. Check it out. These are all stress balls and shit. Okay? This is a big balloon one. But I'm a fidgeter. I fidget with stuff. So I have all these things. I got this one over the holidays. This is with my kids, we used to get these things called wubbles. You blow them up. This was when they were younger. So this is like a wubble, but it's got the Orbeez in it. Okay, check it out. So it's like a big wubble stress ball with Orbeez in it. And I'm constantly just messing with stuff, fidgeting with stuff. I love all this sensory stuff. I play. I'm all about play. I don't care how old you are, and I did just turn 51, not ashamed to admit it. I don't care how old you are, you have to have play in your life. You have to play. You have to keep the child in you alive and well and happy and nurture your inner child. And I think for a lot of people, that means play. And, we're all kind of taught that, we need to grow up and just be serious. And I think it leads to a lot of misery. And I don't think people keep their playful natures alive and well. And look around. It doesn't take much to see, find somebody who's depressed or suffering or riddled with anxiety or whatever, lonely, whatever it is. There's a lot of unhappiness in the world, and I hate to see that, and I like to help where I can. Of course, I can't save the world. No one can, no one person. But, when I'm in a state where I'm feeling kind of down, I tend to isolate because I don't want to poison the well. It's just the way that I am, If I'm going to be in the public eye, I want to be in a good place. And I don't want to be around people if I feel like I'm going to negatively affect them. And that's just me. Not everybody's like that, In fact, some people are the opposite. Some people are, if they're, feeling moody or angry or cranky, they like to then transfer it to somebody else, transfer their shitty ass mood to someone else and, take out their stuff on other people. I'm not like that, I don't want to do that. So, I try to only be around people when I'm in a more up state, when I'm happy and stable and whatnot. And no one is all the time. And anybody who tells you they are, they're lying. Everybody has down days. But one of the things that I think can really help is just to encourage your inner child, your sense of play, that innocent spark we all have within us that we tend to squash, as we get older. I think it's really important to try to keep it alive, stay young, there's no reason why you can't play and have fun as an adult. And so I encourage that in myself. I encourage it in Wayne. I encourage it in friends and family and whatnot. And Wayne's trying to follow my lead, and he got a couple of fun little play toys. He got like a little car, like a remote control car, and then he got these drones, which he started out with a drone helicopter, and then he moved on to like a bigger drone, and he's been having so much fun with these things. And I'm glad, like I say, everybody's got to find their thing, something that helps you to sort of de-stress, enjoy yourself, play, have fun, whether it's art, some people are creative and they like to create things and do art and whatnot, or if it's toys or, for me, it's sensory stuff. Like I picked up this, okay, it's called Butter Slime. And it's s'mores scented. I'm just about sensory stuff, right? Look at this shit. Oh my God. And it looks kind of like shit. It's awful, but it feels so cool. All right. So check it out. It's horrible. It's like kind of horrible and lovely at the same time. But it's this sensory experience. It's got a very unique feel to it. It's very soft, it's very light, and it does kind of smell like chocolate. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a s'mores smell. I would say it's more of a chocolate smell. I mean, they're doing the scented things with everything, aren't they? They're doing it with makeup. You can get peach or chocolate scented makeup, markers, all sorts of things. Yeah, so I picked up this, and this is one of my most favorite ones right now, just because I love the feel, I love the smell, everything. But I'm always messing with stuff like this. And that's my thing, squishies, slimes, all sorts of weird sensory stuff. That's my thing. My toys, stuffed animals. Oh my God, I just saw this huge bear in a music video. Which I'll talk about after. But anyway, whatever your thing is, just go with it. Don't be embarrassed. Don't feel like people are going to judge you. Everyone needs to keep that lighthearted part of their nature alive, otherwise, you can be like the Walking Dead, and there's plenty of them out there. You know who they are. You know who these people are. They're who I call the Walking Dead. You meet them and you can tell they've died inside a little, it's like they have no soul left. They're miserable or angry or dissatisfied with their lives or whatever it is. And it's sad and it's tragic, but it does happen to people. And I hate when I see that. And, yeah. So whatever you have to do to keep the fires of your soul burning, do it. And for me, part of it is play. So, yeah, that's me. Of course, I don't think everyone's going to, do exactly the same thing I am. But if I find little tidbits of life experience, advice, whatever you want to call it, that helps me, I like to share, because I don't like to see people get into bad places. And I do see a lot of people who get into bad places, and it sucks. So, yeah. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, I did a little hair change. I just kind of dyed my roots. I had to bleach again, and I decided to do a little pink. It's just, I've been solid purple for a while, and again, just wanted a little change. So I've been doing the pink. I love it. I totally love it. I think I'll probably stick with this. I'm not sure. I might switch it around so that the top is purple and I do the pink on the ends, because that might be better for when my roots are growing in. But I think either way, I might keep some of the pink in just because I really like it. Yeah, thank you. It's fun. Again, I'm all about fun and play and enjoying life. Life is short, you know. You gotta have fun while you're here. So that's part of it for me. So that's that. Moving along. So I don't know. No, I'm sure not all of you are familiar with the whole Onision story, but he's this YouTube, person, a YouTuber who has reached a certain level of fame, I guess you would call it, although, it's YouTube fame. It's not the same as movie star fame or whatever, but he's pretty well known. He's been doing it a long time. And he was friends with Shane Dawson, and Shane's in with Jeffree Star. I mean, they're some of the biggest people on YouTube now. Well, Onision, he's been through a lot of controversy lately, and he was involved at one time with this woman named Shiloh, and she was pretty young at the time, and I think they were engaged. I don't know. I can't keep the whole story straight, but I'm pretty sure he was engaged to this woman at one point, and then he met Lainey/Guy. I think he cheated on Shiloh with Lainey, but then he stayed with Lainey, and then they got married and had a couple kids, and that's where they're at right now. Some people are saying they're getting a divorce. I don't know. I don't really know, nor do I really care. But the point is that this woman, Shiloh, hasn't really been around through all this recent controversy when Onision has been on, Chris Hansen's show and whatnot. Shiloh, I don't think, has been around, and people have been wondering where she is and whatnot. And I did not know this about her until just the past couple of days, but evidently she was a big sort of like teeny bopper star, the same as, we have Miley Cyrus. She's a Canadian, and she was on the equivalent of like the Disney Channel, but in Canada it was called the Family Channel. This was before, they didn't have Disney before, so they had this thing called the Family Channel. And I guess she was a big star on the Family Channel, and she did some music and some songs and stuff when she was younger under the name Shiloh. Well, she has now done a whole sort of rebranding of her image, and she's calling herself Lil Doll. And it was funny because over the holiday season, I was actually looking at, there's a company that sells clothing and stuff called Lil Dolls that I was looking at and drooling over their clothes and shit. And then I saw that this Shiloh has rebranded herself. She's calling herself Lil Doll, and she put out a new music video. And it's hot. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. The choreography of it all is just, it's amazing. It's spot on, it's just, I loved, she does like this contact with a milky eye. So she kind of looks like, like a dead doll. And she's got this big lacy black poofy dress, which is fantastic. I love that she's not stick thin. Stop encouraging our daughters to be anorexic, world, please and thank you. She's curvy and very sexy, and I like that. she's got these long, like fluorescent green fingernails and a long fluorescent green wig. It's fabulous. She does her makeup so that she's got like fluorescent sort of in the corners of her eyes, and with the UV light, it looks like these green sort of, like radioactive tears. It's fantastic. And she's got this huge bear in the video, which is one of those Rilakkuma, bears, one of the Japanese, all that Japanese fashion and stuff that the kids are into, that I'm into too. But one of those huge bears in the video, and the whole thing, it's a great song. It's catchy, and the video is fantastic. I love it. I love all of it. I couldn't love it more. So I'm really happy for her that she's able to go in a good, new, positive direction and turn things around for herself, so that, at one point it looked like she was at a pretty low point in her life, and she's managed to turn it all around. And that woman is going to succeed. I'm telling you now, that video is fucking hot. She's going to rock it. She's going to be laughing her way to the bank, and I'm happy for her. So that was pretty cool. I'll put a link in the description after the show so you can check out the video if you're interested. And it's a pretty cool song. I liked it. Very catchy. Very cute and catchy. So yeah, that was the big bear thing I was going to talk about. I want one. You know me and the stuffed animals. So Juju got lots of little Christmas gifts, and she's been playing with our neighbor's dog, who's been stealing them. And I've had to like sneak into the neighbor's yard to steal the little Christmas presents back. It's pretty funny. Even though I give the neighbor's dog, Roxy, some like old toys of Juju's. And then, but Juju is like a spoiled only child, because even when I give the dog like a toy she hasn't looked at for, a year, then suddenly she wants it again because she's jealous. It's so funny. So the dogs have been entertaining us. I've got a whole thing of Orbeez here. Ooh, and they bounce. I want to have like a tub full of Orbeez and just have them all over me. I like it. So did everyone get fun presents? Oh, you can't stand Kai? Yeah, I can't either, Shan. Just because I feel like she acts so, innocent, and clearly I don't think she is. I think she's just as much of a part of that problem. If there was a problem, it's alleged, let's say, and I don't know. I don't know these people in real life. It certainly, I can remember, though, I will say, years back, I heard about Onision because of having children myself. And at the time, it was when he was doing that thing where he was critiquing women's bodies online. And I do remember hearing about it and saying, like, wow, that's fucking disgusting. And if he ever did that to my daughter, I would, like, you know what, I don't have to say. So I thought that was pretty gross. Now, it could just be that he was young and immature and he didn't, know the difference between right and wrong. I don't know. Perhaps he thought he was helping in some way. I don't see how. I think it was probably just a stunt to, There's an old adage that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Controversy and drama, and even if it's negative, can make you more well-known. And it could be that that's the formula he uses. I don't know. Like I say, I don't know these people personally. I see the same things that you guys all see. So whether he and she are the villains everyone thinks they are or not, I don't know. I don't know them. But it certainly doesn't look good, does it? Certainly hasn't looked good. And I don't understand people myself that are attracted to younger people. When you're talking about that age group, even when I was of a much younger age, like let's say when I was, 28, would I have ever dated an 18-year-old? I really can't see that. At that age, I was always dating people older than me. So I just don't get it. It doesn't compute with me. And certainly now that I'm the age that I am at now, I look at people that young and they just look like children to me, just really like children. So I don't understand it. But certainly I don't like, when we're getting into the area of discussing, pedophilia and that sort of thing, no, that's not okay with me. I don't approve of that. I don't even want to talk about it because I'll start getting really angry. I'm a protector of children and animals. So yeah, when it comes to kids, I can't even talk about it publicly or I probably will just get too angry. And I don't want to show that side of myself. It's not pretty. Anyway, yeah, but a lot of people certainly think there was a problem and an issue there. And like I say, it went all the way to Chris Hansen, looking into it. So clearly there was some reason for concern or else people wouldn't have gone in that direction. But at this point, like I say, I feel like there's been enough authority type people looking into it. I would think that if there is an issue there, it will be solved. It'll be taken care of, I would hope. So yeah. Yeah, well, that could be it, Shan. Maybe that's true. It's sort of like, maybe he wanted to get involved with young women because they were easy to control and impressionable and, raise them up right, so to speak. And that's gross. Let's face it, that's gross. So hopefully, maybe he's matured as he's aged and learned. I don't know. I don't know the man. And clearly, everything you see online that he presents, he's presenting, for a reason. It's very, there's nothing real there. Don't be confused. So, yeah, he's not like a reality star. He's definitely, it's all an act. So, yeah. But my point is that, I'm really impressed with this Shiloh and proud of her, if you will, even though I don't know her. She's been a little bit in the public eye and certainly not in a very favorable light. And she's turned that around. And I love to see women that do that. That's awesome. Really happy for her. And I wish her all the success in the world. So, yeah. That was good to see. This is the clear putty. I've been trying to make the clear putty. I've had very little success. I don't know if it's hard or what, but I just can't seem to do it. But that's what I was trying to do over the holidays, was make my own clear putty because I like it. So what else do I have to share? Probably not too much else. Yeah, I can't really think of anything too major. We've been flying the drone around, doing yard work. I lost my vape at one point. That was a big drama, but found it. We've been eating a lot of sushi. Love sushi.
Sushi rules.
Now I want it, now that I'm talking about it.
No, me too.
We haven't eaten yet. We haven't eaten dinner. We're eating late tonight. But yeah, we've just been relaxing, hanging out. So yeah, I don't even really know that whole story, Mary, if you can believe that. I've heard a little bit here and there, but I haven't really investigated it too deeply. As I say, sometimes, if it involves kids or animals, sometimes it can be so disturbing to me that I'll avoid it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know that whole story. I don't know that whole story. Oh, so
there was a video of him peeing on a 15-year-old girl.
Ew, that's gross.
Like his fetish was to pee on girls.
Yeah,
So
well, that is the
there
thing.
was a video circulating of him peeing on this 15-year-old girl, and it was actually turned out to be true. And they
Oh,
he's
yeah.
in all kind of trouble.
Yeah.
And then now more girls are coming forward, and more stuff's coming out. And he's a sick.
Ew, that's gross. I mean, I don't judge. You know, if you have a fetish, that's your thing. But don't do it with underage kids, for crying out loud. Why? I don't even understand it, but I guess that's because I'm normal. Somewhat. Not completely normal, but somewhat normal. Anyway, so I am going to start talking about this case just because I think you guys will find it interesting. I certainly found it interesting. I've been wanting to talk about it for a long time. I hadn't started it because I knew once I did, it was going to be such a huge rabbit hole that it would suck it all out of me, and it probably will to some extent. And I'm not going to go into it too much tonight. I'm just going to start with it. And I'm not going to talk about this every show, but I will have some shows where I'm talking about this one case. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background tonight so that you can get a handle on it. It's a cold case. And I don't even remember originally how I stumbled upon this case. But I do have a habit of doing this where I find something that I'm interested in, and then I just sort of research the heck out of it until I've learned everything there is to learn about it. That's just what I do. So it's a cold case. It hasn't been solved. It happens in Florida, and it's called the Sims Family Murders. Now, you know, if this has nothing to do with The Sims, the game, which I do play. I love The Sims. It's just that was their last name. So don't get confused. But now I started researching the case, and then I ended up watching a documentary about it that was actually made, I believe, by like a college student or a couple of college kids. Because they were going to a university in Florida, and that was part of their project. I guess they had to make some kind of documentary, so they found this cold case, and they started digging and researching, and took it from there. And they made this fantastic documentary about it, and I'll put a link in the description to that after the show. And you should watch it if you're interested in this sort of thing, because it's really interesting. But what I found primarily interesting about this case, and the reason why I did want to start diving into it, is that, first of all, it's not that talked about. I haven't seen a ton of stuff out there. You know, some cases, there'll be 80 million movies and books and whatnot written about them. This case, there isn't a lot out there. But there was a lot on Reddit. And if you've ever been on Reddit before, you know that in itself can be a real rabbit hole when you start going into Reddit threads and stuff. There was a lot on Reddit, and somebody who was involved with the original case was putting in his 2 cents in a lot of these Reddit threads. And I even tried to contact him to see if he'd be interested in having me interview him to talk about this case. He never responded to me. And it seems like he really wanted to talk about the case a lot, at least on Reddit. So I'm a little surprised that he didn't respond to me, that he didn't want to be interviewed about the case. But here's the thing. I kind of suspect he's involved, and maybe that's why he doesn't want to talk to me. I don't know. But my gut tells me he may be involved. So that's a little bit of lead up to this case and what it's all about. Now, I'm always going to credit my sources, and I'm going to put a link, again, in the description after the show to this one site where I have printed out 105 pages. Now, I read all this already in the past, but there's a lot of information here, and this is a WordPress site that was written, I think, back in 2015. But this person has already done so much research themselves, so I will credit them. I'm going to be commenting a lot on research that they have already done, okay? So the name of this WordPress, it's called The Sims Family Murders and a Glimpse in the Mirrored Abyss. Of course, you know, a title like that was going to draw me in. Now, I'm not going to just solely, read the whole thing or anything. I'm just going to sort of flip through it and share with you some things that I think are relevant or interesting and whatnot. If you're interested in reading the entire blog, you are more than welcome to do so, but it is very lengthy. So, this person has a particular fascination with cases that took place like back in the 60s that, you know, are murders that were never solved. And, you know, I don't even know if it's a male or female who wrote this blog, but basically they quote a lot of the different cases. But it was this one particular case that interests me, and the Sims case, and that's the one I'm going to talk about. So the players in this murder case are Dr. Wilson Sims. He was 42 years old, and he was the director of data processing for the Florida Department of Education. So, you know, this is a guy with a serious professional career and a businessman. And he had a wife that was described in newspaper accounts as being attractive and auburn-haired. Her name was Helen Sims, and she was 34 years old. She was a former secretary at Tallahassee First Baptist Church. So this did all take place in Tallahassee, Florida. It was a Saturday evening, and the couple and their youngest daughter, who was named Joy Lynn, she was 12 years old. They were home in their modest brick ranch house. It gives the address in Tallahassee, which I'm not going to put out there publicly because I'm sure people who live there now don't want anybody coming by. And then they had two older daughters, Virginia and Judith Ann, who were babysitting nearby. They were a close-knit religious family. Even under the microscope of a homicide investigation, detectives never unearthed anything that would be considered an impropriety within the Sims' lives or their background. They were highly respected people in the town, and most people, it was a fairly small town, especially at that time. And this all took place on October 22nd of 1966, so just a little bit before Halloween. And at that time, the town was even smaller than it is today. And, you know, it's a little small, quiet southern town. Everybody knows one another, and the Sims were very well known and respected throughout the town. So at approximately 11:15 p.m., the Sims' 17-year-old daughter, Virginia, came home and found that her parents and her little sister were in the master bedroom, and they had been not just killed, but slaughtered, okay? They had been murdered. Dr. Sims, attired in trousers, a sport shirt, socks, and shoes, was lying atop a flowered bedspread on the couple's king-sized bed. He'd been shot once in the head. His wife and daughter lay at an angle on the room's beige carpet. Mrs. Sims was barefoot in pink slacks and a blouse, and she had been shot 3 times, twice in the head and once in the leg. Joy Lynn, the 12-year-old, was wearing a nightie, a night dress, and she had been shot once in the head and stabbed 6 times in the torso with a large hunting or butcher knife. All 3 Sims had been trussed, tied up, and gagged with household items variously described as neckties, socks, hosiery, lingerie. And both Dr. and Mrs. Sims had been blindfolded. Some newspaper accounts state Joy Lynn was blindfolded as well, and others imply that she was not. Virginia Sims called the ambulance service and said, "Something terrible has happened, please come." So that's just a little bit of a start to the scene. Now, when I first read this story, my own youngest daughter was 12 years old at the time, so I couldn't help but, sort of think about my own daughter being in that situation. And I mean, 12, it's young, that's a young girl, and it's just, this is tragic, and it was a really tragic, horrific murder. Especially because there were 2 older daughters that survived, for your parents and your youngest sister to be killed and murdered in such a horrific way, and then have to survive that and go on to live the rest of your life. It's awful. And it was a really quiet, sleepy little town. So that's just, as I say, that's sort of setting up the scene for you. It just amazes me that this murder has never been solved. It certainly seems like a very solvable murder. And why hasn't this been solved? So this is what we're going to be talking about. And I'm not going to get into it too much tonight. If you want to research it a little bit on your own, feel free. Like I say, I will put links in the description. But there's a lot of information here. It's a huge case, and I just can't believe it hasn't been solved. But it's interesting, and it's going to get interesting. I'm going to share more things about it that I'm sure you'll find as fascinating as I did. So this is what we'll be talking about. I have a lot more stuff to print out, and I need to organize some of my notes and everything. So we're only going to just touch upon it tonight. But it is very sad. And, being involved in the paranormal and, having worked with a lot of spirits that have had tragic lives and whatnot, these people get forgotten overall, and, I've been talking a lot lately this year about how everyone wants a voice. That's all everyone in the world wants. Everyone wants a voice. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants their story told. And for people that are murdered, it's like their lives are stolen from them. And their lives are cut short, and it's tragic. It really is. It's tragic for them. It's tragic for their family and friends. It's tragic for everyone involved whenever someone's life is stolen from them. And that's essentially what murder is. You're stealing someone's life. It wasn't their time to go. You're taking that away from them. So these are sad stories, and they touch me. And that's why I want to talk about them. So yeah, this is a case, like I say, I've been interested in a long time. And if you join me in talking more about it in the future, I think you will see why I found it very fascinating. There's a lot of twists and turns throughout it. So yeah, this is a picture of Dr. Sims. He was a good-looking man, supposedly very charming, and, no accounts of infidelity or anything like that. This isn't a great photograph, so I don't know how well you can see it, but that's Mrs. Sims, the mom. And then this is just heartbreaking when you look at this photograph. This is Joy, the 12-year-old that was murdered. And to think of this little girl, this beautiful, beautiful, happy little girl being so horrifically murdered, it's heartbreaking. It really is. No, I have not communicated with these spirits. Don't want to imply that. I have not at all. I haven't reached out to them. They haven't reached out to me. That I know of, unless it's subliminal, what's the word? I can't even say it. Subliminally, maybe. Maybe they've been steering me in the direction or subconsciously, let's say that. Maybe perhaps subconsciously they've been steering me, but not consciously. I haven't communicated with them. So, but I'd be happy to. They're more than welcome to come through and communicate with me if they desire. I don't like to call spirits specifically. I don't like to mess with anybody's will. You know, if they want to communicate with me, they're more than welcome to. But I don't want to try to force anyone to communicate. So, yeah. No, it just touched my heart, you know, that adorable little girl and thinking of her murdered in such a horrific way, and the other two daughters losing their parents, you know. It's just sad. And but it was a rabbit hole I fell into once I got on the Reddit thing. Really, that's it. So, yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean, being so young, it's just, yeah, it's just sad, you know. And I have a soft place in my heart for children as it is. I think children have such a hard time, you know, in the world, and they're underappreciated and whatnot. And, you know, thinking of any child going through that kind of trauma and torture is just, it's horrific. And it touched me, you know. I felt for this family and for the ones left behind and the ones that were killed, you know, just trying to imagine what they even went through. They weren't killed quickly. You know, they were tortured first, and it's sad stuff. So you can't help but empathize with the feelings of helplessness that they must have had, and fear. Yeah, certainly. So yeah, it is very sad stuff. So, you know, I do want to certainly make sure that is expressed here by me. This is not morbid curiosity. It's more of, I really can't help but empathize and feel compassion. Even though it was so long ago, it just touches me, you know, this kind of horror. You know, I think a lot of us can be really fascinated with horror and horrific things that happen in this world. And a lot of people don't understand that. But for somebody like me, it is about empathy and compassion. You know, I really feel for these people that they have to go through these experiences. And, you know, and then if you do believe in life after death, as a lot of us do, because of our own experiences with spirit, you can't help but think about what it must be like to pass in such a traumatic way. And, you know, it's sad stuff. Yeah, well, that's a whole other, you know, conversation, Shan. I know, but I mean, that's as old as time. People wondering why there's suffering and in the world and whatnot. You know, we all wonder that. You know, why do good things happen to bad things happen to good people? I mean, I was just, you know, if you're on my Twitter, you saw recently I shared this gentleman who's a friend of ours, you know, a new friend, mind you. I just started chatting with him not too long ago, but it was someone I was considering interviewing because he knew Frank Sumption, and I had contacted him. And so we've been talking, very nice guy, very friendly. And, I didn't even realize, because I was caught up in my own stuff that was going on, that his wife, throughout the holiday season, his wife had like 4 strokes and an aneurysm. And, she's a very Christian woman. And, and he's struggling to understand how something so awful can happen to good people, and we all go through that sort of struggle. Why do these things happen? These trials and tribulations and tough times, why do they happen? It's hard. Everybody has a path to walk, and we don't necessarily know why we go through some of the hard things that we go through. But I don't know. I can only speak for myself and for my own experience. Hey, Bargain Beauty, how are you? Thanks for coming in. I can only speak from my own experience, and I can only speak for myself. But I know that some of the hardest things that I've been through in my life, I can never understand when I'm going through them. I struggle and I'm upset and I have the negative emotions, and just the same as everyone else. And it's only ever in retrospect, after I've gone through it, that I can then sort of suck some sort of positive out of it. But I almost always can. I can almost suck some sort of silver lining out of any negative situation. It's hard to do. I'm not saying this is easy stuff, but you have to do that. You have to develop that kind of mindset, or you'll wake up and, want to slit your throat every day, and nobody wants to live like that. So, yeah, you just gotta try to get through it the best you can. That's all you can do. And know that everything changes. Nothing stays the same. And the next day will be a new day and a different day. What else can you do, Thank you. Yeah, we did that right before Thanksgiving, I think. Put up a little, and I got that stuff. I think I talked to you around that time. I got it at Hobby Lobby, which I love. We have a Hobby Lobby near us. Now, I know they're the devil because they don't support the LGBTQ community, and a bad store, and shouldn't support them and all that, but what are you going to do? I love that store, and it's nearby. I'm not going to search out somewhere else. So, yeah, I love Hobby Lobby. They got great stuff there. So I got most of that stuff there. But thanks, and nice to see you coming in. So, yeah, I know. And, I've had a lot of child spirits come to me. I seem to draw in the children. And I don't know if it's because I'm a mom myself. I do have a maternal nature. I try to take care of everyone. I try to mother everyone. I mother the world. So maybe that's why. Maybe I'm just more open. Maybe they're not as fearful of me. I don't know what it is, but I do draw in a lot of children spirits. And so, of course, I'm going to empathize with these stories because I know that these children continue on. I know they don't die. I know their spirit continues on. So I empathize with them. If they've had a traumatic passing, I can't help but empathize. So, yeah. So that's it. The Sims family murder case. It's very interesting. As I say, I will put in some links after the show. Give me a few minutes. I don't always do that immediately, but by tomorrow, all the links should be up. And if you want to look into it a little bit, it's some interesting stuff. I don't think you'll be able to research it quite as much as I have in a short amount of time because I fell down the rabbit hole and I really went deep with it. And I am going to put this out there, to the gentleman that I did contact. If you change your mind and you are interested in having your own voice in this story, I'm more than happy to listen to it. And you're more than welcome to share here. You can use my platform to say whatever you want to say. So the offer remains, and my email is ghostqueenoracle@gmail.com if you change your mind and you want to talk about it. Because, see, the thing is that if you don't have a voice, then sometimes people come up with their own conclusions, and I may be doing that along the way. So, yeah. Yeah, that was another really horrific case, Mary. Absolutely. It just becomes unfathomable. You know, especially if you are a mother and you have children yourself, it just becomes, you just can't imagine it. You know, you really just can't. When you think about children that are murdered, especially when they're murdered by their parents, I don't know, as a parent myself, you'd choose just about any other option, wouldn't you? Like any other option. That's like just not an option. So when it becomes an option, it's just so confusing to us because we can't imagine, we can't empathize, you can't fathom how a parent could kill their own child. It's unfathomable. So, and it's so contrary to, your natural instincts. As a parent, your instincts are to protect your children, not to hurt them. So, yeah, it's hard to imagine. It's hard to understand, and it's hard to even talk about sometimes. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys heard or saw on any of my social media, there was right before, I don't know if it was right before Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving, there was a horrific case around here involving animal neglect. Now, this is a local animal shelter, sort of like a humane society, but not a huge one. It's like a family-run shelter that they got a call about 3 horses that had been abandoned, and they went to rescue the horses, and one of the horses, and they had been abandoned and neglected to the point that they were literally starving to death. And one of the horses was so bad off that it was lying on the ground and they couldn't get it up, and they were doing everything to try to just get it to stand. And it, wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, nothing. And so they're trying to get it to stand up. And in doing so, they actually had a local person with a tractor come and try to raise the horse up. And the horse expired and he passed away. And it was just so sad to hear about. And they did rescue the other 2 horses. And I cried when I heard this story. Like, it really touched me, especially because my neighbors have horses that used to escape and come up. I love horses. I rode when I was a child. I took English riding lessons at Smith College, and I've always had an affinity for horses. And this was just such a horrible story. The good news is I was able to raise $125 on my birthday to donate to the shelter. And, people who do this kind of work, where they help animals and stuff, I have the highest respect for them and admiration. It's just such a noble job and not one a lot of people want to do. But this particular shelter, they do work with the local, animal enforcement. What do you call it? I can't think of the proper term, but, the people. Help me out here. Wayne, what do you call those people? I think he has his headphones on. But it's like the sheriff, but they're for dealing with animals. I just gone like mind blank. But you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this shelter works with those people, and they do some great work. And that was who I brought Pacas to, the dog that I rescued. And they're always needing help with money and whatnot. And I'm thinking about doing a fundraiser for them in the future. I did pick up some bleach and you know, they always need like laundry detergent and bleach and dryer sheets and that sort of thing. So I picked up some stuff that I'm going to bring to them and donate. And I want to go animal control. Thank you. Just one stupid phrase. I just couldn't put my my finger on it in my brain. Yeah, so I have some things to donate to them, and I'm hoping if the horses are still there, the two that survived that they rescued, I'm going to go see them and say hello to them. And but hopefully they've been adopted already. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, sad stuff. Like I say, anything having to do with animals and kids. Look what Wayne gave me at Christmas. My favorite chocolates, Godiva. I'm going to dive in and have one right now. But yeah, anything having to do with kids or animals particularly touches my heart. And yeah, you know, they're the innocents. They're the ones that can't defend themselves and they need people to do it for them. So, of course, I can't help but feel for them. Look at these yummy yums. Ooh. Oh, I'm going to have one right now. Exactly, Debbie. It is just an age thing. Oh, that's cool, Shan. Yeah, I have a really good friend who's used to ride professionally in the Olympics. He lives in Florida now, but I love horses. They're so sweet. So, I think that's probably it for tonight. Clearly, I'm getting hungry, and we haven't had any dinner yet. So, I'm probably going to go. But I'm going to stream again tomorrow, and I am going to talk a little bit more about the Sims case tomorrow night. So if you're up and around, please feel free to join me. We're leading up to New Year's. So excited. Oh, let me show you one other funny thing. Speaking of New Year's, it's making me think of it. Wayne says I'm the perfect consumer. So is he. We're both wicked when it comes to shopping. But I've been looking for champagne for New Year's. I want to find some Veuve Clicquot because I don't think we got that last year, and that's my champagne. So I was looking for it. Like down here in the South, like the grocery stores and everything have booze in them. I'm not a huge drinker. But once in a while I have a cocktail, once in a great while. And if I do, I usually just have some kind of girly cocktail with vodka in it. So, and I usually keep vodka here anyway for other things as well. So I almost always have a bottle of vodka in the freezer. So I had bought a new vodka not too long ago, a few months ago, and it was Tito's handmade vodka, made in Texas, and it's good. It was a pretty good vodka. So I still have some in the freezer, but I was looking for champagne, and I was also looking for some booze for the mail person for Boxing Day, which, of course, me being me, I was a day late. But I ended up finding this very cute bottle of Smirnoff vodka. It was round, and it had, like, Christmas lights on it. So I put that in the mailbox for our mail lady, the card, a day late. But I'm sure she still appreciated it. I hope so. But I saw this, and I had to get it just because it's so cute. Because it's Tito's vodka again. But look, it's wearing a little sweater. Tell me that's not adorable. I'm sure they put this out because of Boxing Day. So you could give it as a gift. But it was so cute. This was the last one. And I'm like, I have to have it. I just have to have it just because it's wearing a cute little sweater. For no other reason. Well, plus we'll use it eventually. It won't go to waste. But I thought that was adorable. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna go have some dinner with my lover. So I hope you all have a fantastic evening. And I know I love that too, Shan. And I always see horses around here. Like, and if I'm out riding my bike or whatever, I'm always like trying to slip them like, something, a cube of sugar or a piece of apple, whatever. I love feeding horses. I love horses. They're wonderful. I mean, we had one, like I say, my neighbor's horses would come into the yard. They were constantly escaping. Now he's got it so they can't get out. So they don't do this anymore. But the three of them used to come in my yard all the time. It was hilarious. One day I looked out the window and I saw one of them rolling around in the front yard like a dog. Just like rolling in the grass just because he was happy. It was so funny. They've got such personality, all of them. Anyway, yeah, I love horses. I love all animals and creatures and whatnot, except for the fucking fire ants. I don't love them. So that's it, guys. Have a great night. Please join me tomorrow night if you're around and you're bored and got nothing else to do. We can chat about this case, which I find very interesting. And yeah, that's it. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Be happy, be safe, be loving, be kind, be generous, be forgiving. Tell your loved ones everything you want to say, because you never know which day is your last day. And thanks for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. Sleep well and don't let the demons bite. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.